So in the time-lapse video, you saw me print both this, a large protection plate, and then this, one of the smaller plates for it. Well, what I did was I then took these and I used my soldering iron. I know it's not its intended purpose, and yet covered the tip and melts plastic. Ignoring that part though, I used this on top of here to then create some plates. And well, currently for this, here, let me show you this process. So as you can see, I line the holes, make sure they're all nice in place. And now from here, so now once I take this rivet gun right here, let me just eject that, use this to make the camera zoom in. I screw in this this size tip. I add this piece right here, right into there. Once I feel there should be a click. Okay, just like that. And then align it with one of these holes right here. Push it down so that it clicks. I pull these apart, and then I push these back together. And I do this until in another moment you will hear a loud click. And what happens is then, right here at the tip, right there at the tip, there's this piece right here that pops right out just like that. And it ends up doing something sort of like that. From here, I then took these medium rivets that I made, and I sort of just worked them into the gaps right here. Once these were all in the gaps, I used a rivet gun more like this one. And how these work is you take this piece right here, it goes right in like that, and then as you can see right here, come on camera, focus. It's not really wanting to focus. There we go. As you can see, it brings this ball right here and pulls it up through this sort of like handle-like piece of like this sword, and it deforms this metal bit enough inside of the gaps of this that it allows these pieces right here to actually sort of merge. And now, just like that, I've gotten all but one of the rivets in. There we go. And just like that, when I open it up like this again, another one of these things falls out. Now I've gotten that full plate done. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to score along this edge with a Dremel, and I'm going to score along this edge with a Dremel so that I can bend these plates both down flat, sort of like one of these. You see, actually my last rivet gun broke, so I had to get this replaced, and this one's a lot easier to use than this other one. So now, as you can see right here, maybe you can see the Sharpie, I drew some lines just along here like this, and then I proceeded to bend these down so that I'm going to put about 2 rivets here and there once I use my soldering iron again just to melt through this. And now from here I'm going to do the rest of these, but as of right now I've got 5 of these finished. Okay, I'll start this back up once I have finished these. Now I just finished putting in all the rivets to this, and I've started to just collect a whole bunch of these endings. So I'm going to clean these up, put this away. I'm going to finish, I'm actually going to draw the lines on this. I'm going to score and then bend these inwards. And same thing with this final one. And currently I have just a bunch of rivets to put in. So and now what you can see right here is I'm using my I'm not sure what type of Dremel this is. This is me doing this at like 10:45 at night. But right here I'm using my Dremel. I drew the lines with Sharpie after I riveted all the pieces. This is me doing it up to large plate. And in a minute I'll be able to show you the small plate. But from this point right here, I'm just weakening the edges right here so I can just bend it like that. And now over here is the other side of the large plate. And it's not much, but I am able to, I'm just going to do this one real fast. Something I find funny is that as I'm using this, the vibrations of me actually using the Dremel against the metal, as it shakes the vise I'm using and causes the small pegs on the top and bottom to move. I can ignore the small lack of safety on the setup of how it's actually connected with the vise. The vise is currently it's actually too large to fit on the small, like thin. So what it does is it just rests on another piece of wood that has other stuff on top of it. Here's the smaller plate that I've also drawn the lines for. It was a tiny bit harder to do because of the rivets being so close to the edge, but I was able to get the Dremel in there and then fix it. Keep in mind, every single time this video cuts is me probably having to replace the Dremel head. Each time these things snap, they're a pain to get back on or replace. Also, for those who actually have noticed, I said if you look at the clamping method I used, it's not the safest, I do know this. However, in my defense, I told my parents I double clamped it, so everything's fine. I had to have one of them actually sit there and record for me since I don't have a tripod yet. And now we're back to this. Something you'll notice is that the zip ties that I bought don't actually fit inside of these holes, so I'll have to figure out another use for these in this project. But like as you can see, it slips right out and doesn't actually fit in the metal holes. So I'll have to wait on that. Okay, now, so after finishing cutting up these pieces right here, well, not cutting them, but scoring the edges and then bending these in, and I quote, I said, I double clamped it. So, feel free to leave any comments of any suggestions I should do in the future. But the metal and 3D printing part of this is now done. And now, here, let me lay it out. That's the first. Here is the second one. Along with the third. These are both going to be arm bracers. Or well, more amps arm bracers that I'm making. Where the reason I've got two of these small panels is because one goes right there, the other one goes right there, and then there, they both stack up just like this. I thought this would be really cool because I can now use this as a spark shield rather than a current piece of wood I'm using. And on top of that, I know I just really like the style of it. And if I support this right here, I can actually, now I have to add some rivets on the sides and figure out how to actually connect these. Okay, so now what we're doing is all of these plates that I have made and fabricated here, where it's the 3D printed, the rivets, and the metal plates right here. Forget how hard those are. I mean, yeah, it's metal. Anyways, now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking this metal wire. Okay, this is like very poorly kept, but we're going to be taking the stuff I just unwound from it, and I'm going to now be using this to connect them all. I absolutely hate how long this took. This took about 28 minutes, what is only a few seconds for you. But it was essentially like trying to sew through solid materials with metal. Or well, no, that's literally what it is. What I'm trying to say is that it only it only takes a few seconds here, but it took like half an hour just to complete because the wire wasn't wanting to go through this place, or it would bend while it was inside of the piece, and I had to pull it out. And then, as I pulled on one side of the wire, the other side would clamp down, and it would shift completely. Okay, and now from this part right here, this is me just finishing up connecting some more plates. Now that I've got all four of these right here, I can actually start connecting these now. And now right here, I'm just showing where I need to connect both of these plates using some more wire. Boy, this was tedious, and I really did not enjoy doing it. And one of the main reasons was because getting the right camera angle, trying to like zoom in, and then overall just two pieces might be more sturdy than four, simply because the longer something is, the more loose the material is going to be. like right here, this is at 16 times speed. To put that into perspective, this took about 2 hours just trying to figure this all out.